welcome everybody to another new Quest tutorial. We're going to imagine today that you own a small clothing store. That's right, maybe 21 forever when it was started, forever ago. Anyways, and let's say you want a simple program to help keep track of inventory. Now, inventory is going to, of course, have the name, the quantity, and the price of the inventory. So let's create a form that does that, and then later we're going to create some JavaScript functionality to be able to add items, inventory, and then see them below here in tables. So as you can see, this is already created. Let's go ahead and create it again. First thing we're going to need is a form. Okay, there is no action in this form, but there is an ID to be able to select it. That ID is going to be inventory form. In this form, we're going to have 3 labels. Okay, that was 1. Label times 2 more. Okay, then we're going to have 3 inputs. Input 3 tab. Okay, 2 of these inputs will be text, but the first one will be, the first one will be text. The second and third one will actually be numbers. Number and number. Now, the first input, I want to move up above the first input. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Boom, boom. That. All right. So next we're going to add 4 tags, and then, yeah, 4 going to be name. Going to be for quantity. And it's going to be the label for price. Now let's insert in the actual label names. Name. Okay. Quantity. And let's add price. Wonderful. Next up, we're going to add IDs to our inputs, and it's going to match the name. Input ID equals the name of the label above, which is name. Input of number ID equals quantity. I think this ID part and the for part connects a label to the input. Okay, third, we're going to say ID equals price. Perfect. I would like to add a breakpoint between all these so we can see them one under the other. Perfect. These lined up. And then we need one more input actually. Input submit type input value on the button going to be add item. And let's add a breakpoint here as well. Boom. Let's add 2. Boom. See, we're even doing some stacking already. Okay. Now that we have this form part done, we can go to JavaScript and make it do things, as it's not doing anything right now, nothing on the console. Do a sanity check, console log, and say, I think I'm crazy. Okay, it's working. We are sane. We can move on. Okay. Let's think about what we're going to do. We want to be able to take things from the form that are being submitted, print them on the screen. So let's put form inside a const. Const form equals document.get element ID, and we had called it inventory form. See if we're able to get that console form and nothing. Get element and we're getting some type of node-like thing, so it's working. We did that correctly. So now we can mess around with the form. Let's add a event listener on submit to form. Form.add event listener on submit. What are we doing? Function event. We can do whatever we want, but let's just console log. Crazy. Okay. On submit, nothing's happening, or it's almost happening. We're not seeing it because it refreshes. So that could potentially be because the default of submit is to refresh the page. If we do event.prevent default, then click this. Okay, now it's working. All right, so basically what was happening, what we added this was, it was printing that, but then refreshing the page, so we didn't see it at all. But now, when we click here, and nothing happened. Yes. Yeah. Okay, I had to look at my keyboard. Click. Boom, something happened. There was an event listener, did its job. Refresh the page. Boom, it's working off the bat. Okay, so we have the ability to do something now when we click the submit of the form. I think we're missing brackets here. Okay, and let's console log event, I'm curious. Boom, okay, we have all this stuff to work with here. Oh, we want to take the value of these things. Form ID, or let's do something else. Let's first get these values, these input IDs, and put them in a variable so we can do dot value on event click and see if that works. So by that, what I mean is we can say const name. So we're going to store where we type in name here, element by ID, name. And then we can name, add item. So rid of the event. So the name is the input. There a value? Yep, value is nothing. So if we do OSLDKFPOI, add item. Close this, say console log this, and then the value, there you're going to V. O is V after O. C I L D R Q W VRR value. Value, boom. There it is. So actually, we didn't even need to access any event. In this case, we can just select an input like this, and then we can just console log name.value. Boom. We can put 9999. Boom, and we're getting the value. So let's just save the value inside name. Value. Nope, not that. Value space back. Now let's do the same with the other stuff. Quantity equals document get element by ID, and conveniently the ID was also quantity value. And then price element ID should be price value. Boom. And next up, I just want to shove these into an item. Just store it in object-oriented format. Item equals name quantity. Or what if we did this? Just name quantity price. Boom. And on click, hold log item.name the price. 999 empty string or price. Okay, so by doing this, we actually end up doing name. I just found a shortcut. So now we have an object that on click saves these into a array of sorts. Now let's just print these in the screen, right? I mean, you have to print them as a table. We don't have to, but table would be interesting. Table equals document dot create element and table. And now we have a table like this, loading the ether. It's not on the page, loading somewhere in our memory, or it's saved in our memory, available for use. So on click, what do we want to do? On click, we want to also create a row. Const row. It's going to have 3 rows actually. Const row equals documents dot create element table row. Okay, and then row dot inner HTML, we're going to set to. Okay, here we go. Table data, item.name, table data. That's 1. Okay, let me copy and paste this 2 more times. It's easier. And B, try to align them. Close enough. Close enough. Now item.name, item.quantity, and item.price. Okay. So now we're created a row that's also floating in the ether. Okay. Still in the same click function. Within 1 click, all this is going to happen. And then let's table.append child row. Boom. Put that row into that table. And then we're going to print that into the page. So element and body child table. Let me see where that's going. The body is going to put it up top. No, append child, maybe at the bottom. Form. Is there 2? Only be 1. Okay. And then I want my robot to say, turn done, please come again. Add item, boom. I didn't get my first turn. Yeah. Then let's add 1 more. Okay, it's working. For some reason, my trying to console log. Turn 0. Thank you. Yes, there is no return. Turn. Perfect. We have a big group of yachts coming in, only about 100 of them, and they are priced at 20 million each. And that's how we roll. And it said, thank you, come again. All right, hope that was a good one. Have a fantastic day. Don't stop learning, and I'll see you on the next one.